The Canadian Karting Championship on TSN is brought to you by Jim Russell Karting Academy, by Da Vinci Foods, and by Door Doctor. Hello, Canada, and it's great to be back with former Canadian champion Mont Tremblant. Welcome to this wonderful facility, this karting track here in Mont Tremblant on a very warm weekend for the Canadian Championships, and that weather is presenting some problems. You're going to see today juniors and senior, and in junior, the big story happens to be, well, one of the best in our country. Now plying his trade in Europe a little bit, Zachary Clammin de Melo, and he has to start at the back.
He's starting dead last. Vic had a major accident in this morning's warm-up. He dominated throughout all the heat races. Couldn't even get his kart repaired for the pre-final, starting dead last in the final. That's too many people to pass.
So you have to remember too, also on the line for some drivers is a spot on Team Canada. And the Canadian team will represent our country in the Rotax World Finals in November in Portugal. And there is a spot open in that junior. So who might come out?
Well, I would be betting on Tommy Lemaire-Wallet. He definitely has the pace and the speed to make it there. You can't count out Olivier Bedard, who was so close last year and couldn't get it done. Nicolas Forêt, a few other people have a chance to grab this final seat, Vic.
In seniors, a couple of names always stand out, DeLeo and Zaghetti. Steven Zaghetti has been around the sport for a long time. He's going to cut back a little bit. This might be the last time these two really hook up.
Well, Steven Zaghetti, who won and dominated here last year, has been challenged by the junior winner from last year, Jesse Lazar, who now seems to be the man to beat in the senior class. Can Zaghetti catch him? We'll find out this afternoon.
All right, coming up, it is senior and then junior, and that's where we're going to start with the starting grid. And it's a field of 25 that'll take the green flag here. Conditions couldn't be more perfect.
Vic, couldn't agree with you more. We have not too much humidity these past 5 days. The drivers aren't battling fatigue, and we have what is considered a medium grip track this week.
Field of 25, experienced?
Yeah, once you get into the senior class, actually, if you don't have much experience, you won't be racing at these Canadian Karting Championships in senior.
And we take a look at one of the more experienced, three-time Eastern Canadian Championship champion, Marco DeLeo.
As Marco's finding out, it gets a little harder each year because the drivers are younger. As we see here, Michael Pelletier, who just made the jump from junior, and Steven Zaghetti, who is still a teenager.
But the youngest, or one of the youngest, 15-year-old from Pointe Claire, Jesse Lazar, he's on pole. To get that experience, the drivers are crossing over into different areas a lot.
Yeah, you need to go where most drivers there are in a race, the more experience you get. So that's what we've been doing, and it's paying off again this year.
What are you learning?
Learning how to deal in a lot of situations, different weather conditions, different track conditions, different kind of drivers. Yeah, and back here it's just easy.
Norm, you really can only see good things, maybe even great things for 15-year-old Jesse Lazar, already running 1600.
Jumped into a 1600 car, completely dominated at his first race, has been the driver, very dominant in junior class. Now he's with the big boys. Luke Chudley finished second in the Ckc Championship, ahead of Zaghetti. And there's Chris Glover. Don't be fooled by the gray hair. He can get to the front very quickly from BC.
So on the pole from Pointe Claire, 15-year-old Jesse Lazar. He won 3 heats and the pre-final dominant. Kart 367, Tyler Wheeler, 19-year-old, 3-time Western champion from Calgary.
He benefits some great support from Overdrive Motorsports. There's Kevin Monteith in the Burrell kart.
Bryce Choker, Kart 308.
Also rented a Burrell kart for this weekend, representing Canada at the Worlds by winning the Western Canada Championship. And Michael Pelletier, a very young driver to look out for. Marc-Andre Levesque came from the back. We can never count out Marco.
There's new blood and new competition and people on new equipment every year, and you know, it just gives you that new determination to go out there and win and get it done, you know.
You won your 3rd Eastern Canadian title. You're going to represent the country again. I think if I counted up correctly, 4 of 8 events this year. It's been going very well.
Yeah, it's been a good season. Happy to be part of Team Canada again. And, you know, like I said, new blood comes in and the winning instinct comes again, and it's good to win the championship. And this year, winning 4 of the 8 rounds was a pretty big year for it.
Mentioned that DeLeo is 26. Well, Christopher Glover from Vancouver is 32 years of age. Johnny Fluke is 21, and he rides the 345. 393 is Luke Chudley. As we take a look at this field, which includes a field of 25. And let's not forget that also starting up front, well, on row 2, outside of row 2, is 21-year-old Stephen Zaghetti. He knows how to win. Defending champion coming in. Does the motivation change for you?
Not really. We're looking to win again this year, but the competition is quite a bit tougher, so we're looking for a bunch of good fights in all of the races.
Tell me about that competition. I obviously would point to DeLeo as being your main competition. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think he's having a bit of trouble right now, but we have a good competition with Marc-Andre and Jesse, so it's nice to be racing against people on the same card as me.
And you don't know, it's a funny thing to me anyway. Here is Zaghetti with all his experience, all his titles, both Canada and internationally. Yet, as this field of 27 now sits on the mock grid, ready to go, there still has to be some nerves, but at the same time, this is where they all want to be.
Definitely where they all want to be. This is part of being a good driver, is to be able to handle the pressure, balance those nerves, and just be ready when it's time to get on the track.
And like all drivers, like all athletes, you tell me, they will have their little rituals as well.
Yeah, some of them will get in the card from the right side, the left side, untie their gloves. Vic, we're rolling. This is what the drivers want. No more nerves. Now it's time to get to business.
And we will have it for you. The senior final, the Canadian Karting Championship, when we come back here on Canada Sports Leader, TSN. Welcome back to this wonderful facility, Circuit Karting Mont Tremblant, the Canadian Karting Championship here on TSN. Norm Trottier alongside. Here is your starting grid for the senior division. Jesse Lazar, last year's junior winner, moves up. Stephen Zaghetti, defending champion, and then Marc-Andre Levesque.
He was very fast in the heat races. Issue and technical inspection. Marco DeLeo looked for him to come from the back. Philip Harbour was one of the faster drivers last year, battling a nasty flu. Let's see what he can do this afternoon in this heat.
We're starting to see a lot of young ladies karting now. Emily Madison is one of those, 17-year-old from Calgary. She's won 2 Calgary junior titles. She's a driver of the year in that Western division. It's a field of 27 now, gathering up, arc-like, heading towards Noah's Ark, 2x2. It's 1.2 kilometers around. They actually start them on the backside to give them a little bit of running room before they get into that technical section. So here we go. We're waiting for the green flag, and there it is. Jesse Lazar, Tyler Wheeler on the front row. Senior race is underway.
Very nice clean start. Oh, we have a card off here in the back of the field, and that was Tyler Wheeler getting pushed out, who was starting on outside pole.
So now they go through 15. This is the start-finish line. It is Lazare. What a great start by Zaghetti, who moves up to defending champion.
Bryce Choker, sorry Vic, just got in front of Kevin Monteith on that nasty corner 2.
So coming through now the more technical sections, they go down through 2, up 3, 4, and now they'll head down through a complex section called 5, 6, and 7. And they get sliding around here. Weather conditions could not be better.
Yeah, this is a very technical part of the track. Very important to be smooth and not use your tires. We have another card off.
Oh, my God, this is Michael Kundliakolu from Etobicoke, a 16-year-old. He's the leading senior driver at Goodwood Kartways. And
I see from Goodwood Kartways, Marco DeLeo starting 8th. We have to watch him, is now up into 5th place. Good start for Marco.
Yeah, let's remember now, Marco DeLeo, 3-time Eastern champion, started 8th and trying to make a move up.
Already we can see Jesse and Stephen Zaghetti slightly pulling away from the 2 Burrell cars of Bryce Choker and Kevin Monteith.
All right, you're Zaghetti, you're the defending champion. You're chasing the young gun now. How much pressure do you put on this 15-year-old?
Well, it's always a battle of saving those tires. We talk about it a lot during the Formula 1 races. I think right now Stephen's going to analyze, save his tires, and maybe try to make a move in the second half of the race.
Now, Jesse Lazare has been absolutely brilliant the entire weekend. He won 3 heat races. He won the pre-final. So there's really no suggestion that he can't even be caught here.
Well, what happens a lot in these type of situations, when you dominate for the whole week, you're hesitant to make changes on your kart. Mind you, all the guys behind you are going to be trying different things to try and catch you. And oh, we have a pass here going into corner. That was corner 15 right before the big straightaway. That was a very nice move.
Oh, look at now. Zaghetti's closing up a little bit. We're just riding along with him. That 321 ahead of him is your leader, Jesse Lazare, the pole sitter. So we're nicely underway. This is the senior final, the Canadian Karting Championship from Circuit Karting Mont Tremblant on Canada's sports leader, TSN. Welcome back to beautiful Mont Tremblant, the senior final of the Canadian Karting Championship. The pole sitter, 15-year-old Jesse Lazare, continues to lead over last year's champion Steven Zaghetti, and Bryce Choker is in third place.
Exceptional race from Bryce, considering this is the first time he's ever been to Mont Tremblant, and he's on a rented chassis for the weekend, not his own equipment.
Now, Choker comes out of Langley, BC. He was a member of Team Canada a couple of years ago, and he is the Western Karting champion.
Yes, that's correct. We just see a nice pass here from Marc-Andre Levesque as him and Marco DeLeo are chasing down Kevin Monteith. Oh, DeLeo, yes, DeLeo gets on the inside of Monteith. This battle's been brewing for a little bit. This is going to give a chance for Marc-Andre Levesque to catch up.
So again, at the front, Lazare and Zaghetti trying to maybe not put as much pressure on each other, trying not to lose their speed.
That's exactly it. They are teammates, by the way. Mind you, there are no friends or teammates once the race has started, but they're staying smooth. They're going to try and pull away from everybody else behind them and then battle it between themselves near the end.
Let's talk a little bit about these karts as we ride along now. You have to be 15 years or older to run. It's 29 horsepower.
Exactly, water-cooled, 29 horsepower. The engines are sealed. It's about the driver and not the engine tuner. Mind you, it's so important to get your chassis just right, or you start going backwards at the halfway point of the final.
Now you can see them coming down as they come by the back straight where they started, going into 15, 16. Aerodynamics play a factor here?
It's not, the draft does play a factor. It's what's important is to come out of the last corner with enough speed. Here we see Levesque. Is he on the inside of Monteith? Yes, he makes this thing. There's Tyler Wheeler as well. You see how Kevin Monteith got pushed out. Oh, loses 3 positions. That was Chris Glover that got by as well. He comes back on Glover. No, doesn't quite make it stick.
And it's interesting, always coming down that front straight, past the start-finish line, into turn 1. We've seen the majority of passing there.
Well, that's why we talk about chassis setup. If you can get your car to line perfectly in 15 and 16, it gives you enough speed to get it under brake, get it done under braking going into corner 1.
So now here they are through the more technical sections, through 9, 10, 11, 12. That sets them up for this. This is the long back straight here at Mont Tremblant.
Very important to not get your car too wide or be too aggressive through the technical section. Keep your tires cool. See the lead that Zaghetti and Lazare are pulling out on Bryce Choker right now.
So when does Zaghetti try to make the move? He has to eventually get up on the back of Lazare.
Easier said than done. Jesse has been so strong and dominant.
Oh, we got somebody going inside the 314. Austin Milwain out of Keswick, the 17-year-old.
On the energy kart, Austin was really fast in last year's race. This year, first time in senior, is doing very well.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about it. Were you surprised about the fact that you have the former junior champion in Lazare making that move up? And when we say moves up to senior, what it's really all about is an increase in horsepower.
It's not so much the increase in horsepower as it is these young drivers are so good from a young age. By the time they get into senior, they're as good as any senior driver.
And the key here on a track like this, so many people talk about the intricate, the technical parts inside. Is that where you win or lose a race here?
Absolutely. By driving smooth and having your chassis set up properly will avoid you from overheating the tires.
Looking back in the field again, remembering, of course, it is Lazare currently leading, trying to hold off his teammate, Steven Zaghetti. Last year's junior champion leads. Last year's senior champion is second.
Absolutely, and Jesse is easier said than done. I don't know if Steven has anything to catch or pass him, but that's why we're here.
Okay, so Zaghetti now closing up a little bit. There he is. You can just see the back bumper.
It's not looking good for Steven because we don't see Jesse fighting with his cart. Look, you got to see Steven Zaghetti tucked down behind the steering wheel down the straight, trying to squeeze everything out of it.
And you saw Choker looking back over his shoulder. Really, Choker is now racing by himself in third.
Yes, oh, this is Marc-Andre Levesque getting closer to DeLeo. We saw DeLeo get a bit wide going into that corner. See 15, 16, very important. No, couldn't quite do it.
Marco DeLeo trying to hold on. Now again on with Zaghetti. That's how far behind. Really not been able to get much closer to that. Oh, here we go again. This is DeLeo in front of him.
Marc-Andre Levesque. You can see DeLeo's getting a little bit wide and sideways in the corner. Is he having a problem? Has he overheated his tires? Levesque looks like he's ready to pounce.
How smooth this young 15-year-old is currently leading.
Incredible driver, Jesse Lazar. You can barely see him turning this.
Getting closer, Levesque. DeLeo getting closer. Getting closer.
I don't know, Marco seems to have smoothed out whatever was bothering him earlier in the heat. Seems to have a more stable car right now. We don't see him as wide coming in and out of the corners.
It continues to be that distance right there. In fact, Lazar may be just pulling away a little bit. One lap to go, the final lap, and now it's for Zaghetti to hang it all out as he tries to chase down Jesse Lazar.
Well, Jesse Lazar, 12 months of preparing for this moment. You have got to drive a perfect lap, because if you make one mistake, Steven Zaghetti will pounce.
Over the curves, coming now through the inside section, through 4, 5, 6, 7, trying to set themselves up now around the carousel. 9, 10, then they'll go left through 11 and 12, setting them up down for 13, and then finally the long straightaway.
That was the big tight hairpin before the long straightaway. Lazar was so smooth. It's not going to happen today. This could be his second Canadian karting championship in a row. Junior last year, will he be senior this year, Vic?
Here they come to the line. One more turn. It is Lazar trying to hold off. Arms in the air. Jesse Lazar wins junior a year ago. He's the senior champion this year.
Incredible drive. Didn't make one mistake. Zaghetti in second. And that was Blake Choker making it into third place. 3 wide there for fourth. I'm not quite sure who crossed the line first there, Vic.
Thinking that DeLeo may have held off Levesque as the checkered flag flies here at Mont Tremblant, the senior final. What a terrific run by 15-year-old Pointe-Claire, Quebec's Jesse Lazar.
There we have it, Steven Zaghetti second, Bryce Choker third, and yes, Marco DeLeo did manage to keep back Levesque for fourth, Levesque fifth, Tyler Wheeler sixth.
And Austin Milwain, you were impressed. Kevin Monteith, though, falling back.
Luke Chudley in 10th. We were expecting big things from him. Young driver, Philip Harbour in 11th.
On through the rest of this field. The big prize, of course, going to the winner of the senior championship will be a spot on Team Canada. And that will be Jesse Lazar, as he'll go off to the World Championships representing Canada in Portugal in November. What a run. Junior a year ago, senior champion in 2012.
Looks like his eyes have filled up with tears. If I can make a prediction, senior has always been a tough class for the Canadian drivers at the Worlds. Jesse, I think this year, can deliver Canada's best ever finish at the senior championships in the world final.
And to remember too that he's a young man who has made the move into open wheel racing as well, and that's how close it became between Levesque and DeLeo. But DeLeo holds him off for fourth spot. Congratulations to Jesse Lazar, who is the 2012 Canadian senior champion.
His mechanic, Steve Chapman, and his dad, Gordon, must be so happy and excited. We saw some tears in Jesse's eyes. A very quiet and calm guy, but the emotions took the better part of him.
And for Steven Zaghetti, last year's champion, he got that close as he winds down his career. Deep inside, was that as good a ride as you've had in a while?
To be honest, the last time I had a ride like this was last year at the same championship. And same as last year and this year, we worked super hard. And I'm so proud of all of what my father put into me, my mechanic Stephen Chapman put into me. But they all believed in me, and I didn't know I could do it like this.
You know, to a layman who doesn't understand, I think sometimes it just takes you putting a wheel wrong, and Stephen then is right on you.
One mistake, and he would have passed me, but So I needed to work 110% to make sure I didn't make that one mistake, and it paid off through the last lap.
Well, you're on Team Canada a year ago. Congratulations. You made the move up. People maybe had a doubt whether you could handle the more horsepower, but you've proven yourself. We wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
You have to think he has a wonderful future ahead. 15-year-old Jesse Lazar is the winner of the Canadian Senior Championship at the Canadian Karting Championships here in Mont Tremblant. When we come back, it'll be the juniors.